Welcome to the second episode of the Nova Comics channel, a place to celebrate all things comics, including the creators, the movies and shows, the cons, the history, and the great characters and stories. Please take time to subscribe, like, and share the show, and let me know your suggestions and comments on what you'd like to see in future shows. Cheers, everyone. You can find me on Whatnot as Nova27, where I'm running comic auctions, some that you'll see here very soon. I polled my Whatnot crew, the Nova Corps, on content they wanted to see, and we had some really great suggestions. You guys wanted to see the latest comic hauls, what's in the pipeline, and what's new for sale, comic history, new comics coming out, what's on my FOC list, and also more of those comic creator spotlights. So let's get right to it with our first segment that I call What the Haul. I pick up whole collections, single issues, FOC future releases, and I hunt garage sales, and I support my LCS. Let's take a look at the latest haul that's come in, including these beautiful Killing Joke comics, one being a foil cover and one with that beautiful light green raised embossing. Exquisite Corpses has been high on my recommendation list, as well as these new Battle Beast releases. An absolute beautiful Vengeance of Bane foil cover just came in. I've had a lot of books that in the last month and a half that really impressed me. These crane covers that we're seeing in the last couple weeks, I think we'll be seeing more of them. Take a look at this Doom and Spidey renditions by Crane. Planet of the Apes meet the Fantastic Four. I got that beautiful variant cover, and that's a wraparound Avengers. Of course, the man called Nova gets the nod. Gotta love those. And here are the monsters, guys. Infinity Roar #1 and Escape from Skull Island. A beautiful Sorcerer Supreme here, and I do believe this will be the year of Null. I called it, guys, on Dork. Unbelievable, fun adventure. I highly recommend both the Bug Wars and Dork that just came out last week. Absolute Superman is going strong. DC is continuing to kill it. Nothing wrong with a little Harlequin Elvira in a hot tub. And of course, our Mark Spears with Monster and the Wolf. I'm always collecting those new Wonder Womans. And take a look at these, guys. Some beautiful Scarlet Witch covers, which I also collect. Next up, we got Absolute Batman. In this comic, we have a meetup with Absolute Wonder Woman. And take a look at the annual for Annual Spider-Man and Rogue. I'm a huge fan of the horror and sci-fi coming out, guys. Cruel Universe is one of my favorites. Beautiful Fantastic Four covers coming out as well. Coming off the success of the movie. Now this foil Captain America really, really rocks. That cover pops, as does that New Gods comic as well. Some more of that awesome Wonder Woman there at the end. Let's take a look now at some more that just came in. Death of the Silver Surfer and Planet She-Hulk. Really cool new releases here, guys. Final Boss, and there's an old one there. Nice fun cover on Dope Comics. You'll see a few of the older ones in this batch, like Tom Mix and Monty Hale. I do love my old westerns. Marvel Superheroes, a nice 25 center there, and a facsimile of Fantastic Four also just came in. Couple old Novas from the original run, Richard Rider in all his glory, and some DC Comics Presents. What a fun series this was. You'll be seeing a lot of these on my Whatnot channel, guys. I collected Iron Fist when I was really young, and I continue to collect Iron Fist to this day. I've always been a Namor fan. Here's a couple old Submariners that just came in. And here's a couple old DCs. 12-cent Justice League, and a nice 100-pager on the Superman. 20-cent Fantastic Four, and a nice living vampire. I've been collecting Defenders, Invaders, Champions, and Inhumans. And take a look at these Draculas, guys. 12-cent Dell. Another foil to add to the collection here, guys. And I do love those facsimiles. There's been a lot of them in the last 2 years that have come out, and I do recommend them to get a nice clean copy of those classic books. More for my Wonder Woman collection and my Superman collection. I actually just ordered a box of Fantastic Four and Superman that'll be coming in really soon. Another Crane cover and Exquisite Corpses. Some of these will have a card in the polybags, guys, for a game that you can play with Exquisite Corpses. Hanging out with Groot on this one, guys. And a nice Iron Man Crane cover. There's some Bug Wars. I highly recommend Bug Wars, guys. And a nice null cover there by Crane. How about that little pooch on the Deadpool cover? Just got in some more Deadpools that you'll be seeing on Whatnot. Again, my name is Nova27 on Whatnot. You'll be seeing quite a few of these books for sale in the very near future. There's the Mark Spears Monsters. I actually got a whole bunch of unopened blind bags coming in as well, if that might interest you. Kingdom Come and the Kingdom, Alex Ross goodness here. A little bit of indie action with Junk Rabbit and a Gru #1. And that was What the Hog. Now let's take a look at Jenny Frison in our Artist Spotlight. One of my favorite artists is Jenny Frison. Her detail, colors, and imagination has been a great inspiration and captures what I love most about comic art: pure beauty. I call her the Queen of the Flowers. Her work with Scarlet Witch, Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, Vampy, and more draw you in with the engaging eyes, the hair, shapes, and color. Let's take a look at some more of these amazing covers that she's done recently. I was happy to purchase a signed copy a few months ago at a Comic-Con, and I'll tell you something, that was the score of the weekend. Enjoy these covers, and I hope you go out and grab some Jenny Frison in the near future for your collection. Enjoy. Our next segment is a moment in time, a look back at comic book history, starting with Batman, our Dark Knight, who was created in 1939, where he debuted in Detective Comics number 27, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Unlike other heroes, he had no superpowers, just intelligence, detective skills, and a dark origin rooted in the murder of his parents. In the 40s, key elements of the Batman mythos appeared quickly. Robin, the Joker, Catwoman, Alfred, and Commissioner Gordon. Stories mixed crime noir with pulp adventure. In the 50s, under the Comic Code Authority, Batman stories became more sci-fi and family-friendly. Aliens, gadgets, and campy plots dominated. This era influenced the colorful 1960s TV show. The 70s, we saw creators like Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams restoring Batman's gritty detective tone, emphasizing realism and psychological depth. In the 80s, we saw Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns and Year One, redefining Batman as a darker, morally complex figure. This era truly shaped the modern interpretation of the character. Reading from Batman The Dailies, 1943 to 1944, Batman has appeared in newspapers on 5 separate occasions since his 1939 comic book debut. It is the last large body of work that Batman creator Bob Kane penciled completely solo. It is artist Charles Paris's first inking work on Batman, representing the initial 3 years of a 22-year stint with the character. Paris is probably the only person to have inked Batman this long. It contains stories by all the significant writers from the first 5 formative years of the feature's history: Don Cameron, Bill Finger, Jack Schiff, and Alvin Schwartz. Dick Sprang began drawing various Batman comic book stories in 1941. Anticipating possible drafting of other artists into World War II, especially Kane, the editors decided not to publish Sprang's efforts right away. Instead, they inventoried all of Sprang's material until the fall of 1943, even though he was turning in regular assignments. This moment in time is real comic book history and has brought us all the way to last week's release of Absolute Batman, which is just knocking it out of the park. I hope you enjoyed that moment in history, everyone, that moment in time. Remember, it was 1940 we saw the introduction of Robin. We saw the first appearances of the Joker and Catwoman and Two-Face. 1943, we saw Alfred Pennyworth introduced, of course, becoming Bruce Wayne's loyal butler and confidant. After the initial launch of Batman in newspapers and comics, in the 1950s, things tended to shift to lighter sci-fi stories. Aliens, time travel, giant monsters, futuristic gadgets. And in 1954, the Comic Code Authority was implemented, which enforced strict content rules, reducing violence and psychological themes. But we also saw the expansion of the Bat family. Batwoman, Kathy Kane, was introduced in 1956. And of course, Batmite was introduced in 1959. Batmite? You guys remember Batmite? There was domestic and whimsical plots. Stories were focused on romance, imaginary tales, and elaborate gimmicks. Batman was portrayed as wholesome, ethical, almost infallible. I hope you enjoyed that moment of time and this episode 2 here at Nova Comics. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did putting this all together for you. I love to share the comics, and I love to see you guys over on Whatnot. Future shows will be featuring Comic-Con adventures, long box digs, new releases, and some big announcements on collaborations with other collectors. Don't forget to follow me on Whatnot. I'm Nova27, where I host Marvel, DC, and indie auctions, and we have tons of fun. Join me there, NovaCore, and subscribe now to this channel. Share away. Looking forward to reading your comments here, and I always welcome your feedback. Thanks for watching, and enjoy reading that next book. Cheers, everyone.